Happy Wednesday. Halfway through the week, sun is shining. Every day is going to be nicer than the last, except for Sunday. Sunday is meant to be not so nice. Of course, it is my one day off. Yeah, thanks, brother. That's all good, though. You know what? We all need a down day. If the weather's not great, it kind of tells me, hey, you know what? Spend your day relaxing. So I'm okay with that. And without cooler temperatures and without rain and without stuff like that, we wouldn't have things to grow. So we can't complain about it. We need it all. We need all sorts. So yeah, you can see today I am completely surrounded, but it's good. What we want to talk about today is planting annuals in a small space. And a question we get asked a fair amount. You know, a lot of people seem to think that they only have a small garden or a balcony, a deck, maybe only the front walk of the house, their stoop. And they perceive that as a barrier for entry to enjoying plants and gardens and whatnot. And it absolutely isn't. I can understand the concept. I mean, especially, you know, you come into a place like here, or you see some other gardens, or you look at Instagram or Pinterest or something, and you see these just incredible designs and these abundant, prolific blooms and plant pots. And you're kind of like, oh, well, I can't do that, so I guess I can't. And very much the opposite is true. I actually like smaller spaces. I find it forces you to be creative, mixed media. It forces you to look at other dimensions. You have a massive garden, a massive yard, and you tend to only think, you know, linear. You only think on that two-dimensional flat plane. There's my grass, there's my flower bed, there's my veggie pot. You start getting into balconies and stoops and decks and things like that. Well, now you've got railings, and you might have covers, a balcony above yours. So you've got all these other dimensions now that you can start working in. And I think that is actually kind of more fun. And it's not without its challenges, and we'll touch on that, than a big deck. So what you can see here is what I grabbed, and I grabbed a whole bunch of different media to show you guys all the different options there are. And the vast majority of these are lightweight. Like, this is a pot, and it's great. Goes over a deck. It can freestand, so it's fine like that, but it's specifically designed to go over a railing and sit there. And it's great. It's got some depth. So some small annuals in here, a small thing. You know, like that ranunculus and the pansies we give away would go great in here. Ranunculus in the middle, 4 pansies around it. Boom, you got a pot. And they come in different colors. I grabbed this one and this one. You got a blue one, you've got a sage one. I believe they're also in charcoal. They're also in a darker navy blue. And these come in great to decorate over on your railings. And it kind of shows there exactly how it works. And you can see there's different sizes, so it snugs up to different railings. And that's a really fun design. Can go on top of a fence. If you've even got a fence running down your garden in a smaller yard, you don't have as much room, these can sit along your fence. So that's one option. And then obviously the other option is the hanging basket. And we have so many different ones. We've got pre-planted ones like this. We've got big ones like this orange one. Again, a myriad of colors. We got a purple one. I know a lot of times after the winter, we are looking for color. We want to see color. We'll allow your pots to bring some color in. You don't have to go with black. Black is great. Don't get me wrong. One of the reasons I love black, goes good with anything. It's slimming. No, one of the reasons I love black is that it does go good with everything. But the other thing, it actually holds heat. If you remember when we discussed yesterday about what seeds need, well, they need heat. but plants will react great to warmth. So you put plants in that, now those roots stay nice and warm, and they're going to grow way more vigorously. So black does have a place other than that. However, it can also be kind of boring. Now this, it's a dark blue. It is going to absorb heat. Not as much as the black, but it is going to do it. Voila, you've got color. And if you remember what we were talking about yesterday, things don't really clash in a garden. You can have colors that you wouldn't normally wear. You put something like that in there, it's bright, it's colorful, it's friendly, it's welcoming. So don't limit yourself to that. And all of these are lightweight. And what I was just saying about the dark colors, that's just one advantage. But in Calgary, well, all across Canada, our summers get really, really warm. So don't be afraid to use this. And I love this aesthetic. I actually, this is probably one of my favorites personally. I love that cottage, farm, rustic, whatever aesthetic you want to have. The white, the banding, that wooden, old school thing, a couple of little handles on it, drainage in the bottom. They work great. Yeah, okay, it's white, it's going to reflect heat. That's not a bad thing either. Okay, the middle of the summer, when you're watering your black one twice a day because it's absorbing that much heat and drying out, you might prefer the white one. So there's pros and cons to all of them. But the point is that all of these are lightweight. And if you saw at the very beginning how I stacked them, and I kind of did that deliberately. So you put them like this, put that like that, okay? Hey, presto, you've got a railing. This is now sitting on the railing, and you got a couple of hanging baskets above it. Look how many annuals you've got in this area. This is probably 4 or 5 square foot, not even. So that small of an area, and you can have all of those blooms. So what we'll quickly talk about as well is, say you're really limited for an area. For whatever reason, you've got a small deck, small stoop, small balcony, whatever the case might be, and you don't have fences or railings and other dimensions to play with. You don't have something you can hang. You've only got, you step out of your house, like my house, we do have a fair size yard, but my front, we don't, right? You step outside the house and you got a small little square stoop, like a lot of houses. That's great. That's fine. You can still put something on there. We had a Christmas planter up. Jenny designed a Christmas planter and put one up. But one thing you can do is you can do mixed media. And I find a lot of people, they don't do that. And I always find it always kind of amuses me. So we'll take a pot like this. I'm just going to flip it so it's easier to stand up on. So I've got a pot. Well, a pot this big is great for one tomato. Okay, so voila, I got my tomato in the middle. Okay, great. It's gonna get me tomatoes. I'm gonna eat my tomatoes. I put that right in front of my face, directly. I am not good on camera angles. As you can tell, we are not professionals around here. What am I gonna do for an encore? Just hang this one. Like any professional newscaster is like, way to go, Colin. Anyway, I digress. The tomato's way better looking than me anyway. So you put a tomato in there like that. There is nothing wrong with putting some mixed media around it. Put some annuals, put some flowers. The great thing is as well, as we talked about the other day, about annuals and about them having those prolific blooms, constantly doing it, the bright colors, this will attract pollinators, which will then come to your tomato. So it's not a bad idea to have that. And even ones that don't have flowers, this one, okay, Creeping Jenny, always got to mention this one for my wife, Jenny, love her, love this plant. But this looks great. It trails over the edge. It's not going to interfere. It enjoys the moisture. It'll take the exact same fertilizer as your tomato. So you can have veggies and blooms growing together, and you end up with a fantastic mixed media pot. So you're not limited to, oh, I just have a tomato or I just have annuals. You gotta play around and have fun. And you know what? You might find trial and error. Okay, you might put a tomato in, you might put some annuals in, find out they're crowding each other out, or they require different things and they're not growing so good. That's how I've learned a lot. There's a lot I've learned from books, a lot I've learned from experts in the field, but the best teacher by far is trial and error. And then another amazing addition to any small space is the strawberry pot. And they call them a strawberry pot. It really isn't. Again, wow, I'm really good at blocking myself.
It kind of looks like a face.
Yeah, it does. And it's the great thing about these, other than looking like, you know, better than my face, thanks for pointing that out, Brandy. I can read between the lines. Is you fill this with soil, and all of these and the top can hold your herbs. It's not a strawberry pot, it's a herb pot. So you can have, you know, put your trailing mint in here, put your basil in the top, have dill sticking out. This is a new one Brandy and I just found. Sage, scallop pineapple, cannot recommend it enough. Oh my God, the smell alone.
So good.
Yeah, forget it. But Brandy and I were both like, that's why we're a little late. We're just
I'm
smelling
gonna
stuff.
buy that now.
Yeah, there we go. So I just sold that to Brandy. Excellent. So to wrap up, because you know, we are getting a bit short on time, but you're not limited with a small space. You know, you're not going to be able to do what somebody with an acreage can do, but somebody with an inner city yard can't do that. So you got to play to your means. But that being said, there is so much you can do. I have seen people turn small spaces into just incredible things. Put up a row of hanging baskets, and next thing you know, you've got some shade. Right now, you've created some shade. You have some tall. One of these pots, a pot like this, it will require a lot of water. You can grow a sunflower in it. I've done it a few times. I got a picture. I'll see if I can dig it out of the archives. I had a sunflower in a pot like this, so big, Harry had to be on my shoulders to look at the flower, and it grew amazingly. So you're not limited. Don't feel, oh, I got a small space, I can't do anything. You absolutely can. Hopefully this gives you some inspiration. You have questions, you need anything, please get a hold of us. We'll walk you through it. And this Saturday, we have a webinar on annuals, and we will touch on things like this. And then later, we have a webinar on planters. Have a great day, everybody. Enjoy the sun, enjoy your flowers. Yay, early spring, and we'll talk to you guys soon, okay? Bye, everyone.